both players excel and they improve as they're supposed to, I mean, Jacksonville is right there on Houston. I mean, they'll be right there to competing.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast NFL Preview Show. This week we will preview the AFC South. Joining me today for this preview of the AFC South, Captain for Life and high school football extraordinaire, Will Cotton. Will, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Now I got my AC on blast, man. So you say I got the hoodie on, so don't think it's not hot. It's freezing in my house.
All right, so today, Will and I are going to take a deep dive into the AFC South. And remember, fans, our previews are designed for the casual fan to get you excited for the season. And yes, we will talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. So in segment 1, we will cover major storylines in the AFC South. Segment 2, we will cover the over-under predictions. Again, strictly for entertainment purposes only. And in segment 3, we will do our predicted order of finish, our playoff teams, and is there a Super Bowl contender in the AFC South? But first, Will, let's start off with the Houston Texans, and I'm going to give you first crack at the big question. Can DeMarco Ryans build on last year's surprising success? What say you?
Yeah, I think they can definitely win. I mean, if you already went and tried to, I guess win the division. They won the division. I mean, and what they have to do now is try and actually get that better seeding. I think that's just how you build up. The organization is all in, obviously on the offensive side and defensive side of it. They play indoors, so you don't have to worry about any sort of fluke like outdoors, things like that. They lost last year because they lost to a better team who was on a different path. I think the Houston's are going to be very exciting, very fun. Yeah, I'm ready. I think they're ready. I think they can make the next step. Now, I don't know if that means. I don't think it means Super Bowl, but I think they're going to start being that team where they're going to be deep in the playoffs. So that's where I hope it goes. But I'm very excited about the Texans.
Hey, the AFC South joked all last year was one of the weaker divisions. It was. Houston just added Stephon Diggs, which is a 100 reception, 1,000-yard guy. They also have Joe Mixon. Ladies and gentlemen, our academic and athletic consultant just snuck in. So can DeMarco Ryans build on last year's surprising success? That is the question we have with Houston. What do you think, sir?
I think they can. I mean, it's they're on the come up. They got a great quarterback with a great leader right there that they can build around. They have everything looking like they're going in the right direction. So I don't see looking at this, I don't see a reason why they would not win the division, depending on what Jacksonville team shows up. Might be their only real competition. I mean, you got to remember Indianapolis is coming back with the rookie quarterback who's been out. So we're going to see. But, all signs point to them being a player in the league this year.
All right. Well, speaking of Indianapolis, Will, I'm coming back to you because this is your guy. Can Anthony Richardson stay healthy? Because, again, the AFC South wasn't the strongest division last year, and Colts ain't that bad. What do you think, sir?
Well, the thing they got to do is they got to protect him. I think not everybody remembers, but if you remember, the shoulder injury was on a boot that he was coming around and the linebacker, and he tried to split the linebacker and the safety, and he got smashed, and that's when he got hurt. So keep him upright, use his talents where you can. Obviously he's too dynamic to just say do throw, but you have to give him more weapons, and you also have to teach him how to take a slide or even throw away that play. Hey man, hey look, even if you took a sack or a slide, we're still living for the next day. At least you can play next week. So I think the biggest thing is him just knowing how to manage himself, manage his skills, trying to not try to be a superhero every time. Every doesn't have to be a big play or things like that, and manage and just stay healthy. And if he can stay healthy, they can compete.
George, Anthony Richardson only played one game start to finish last year, to go with what Will said. Can he stay healthy and give the Colts something to believe in?
You hope so, because you hope so that he becomes that person, that athlete that they have back there, because he's shown signs of being incredible back there. He has a cannon for a right arm. And it just comes down, the Colts remind me of the Carolina Panthers when Cam Newton first came out, and he had to learn when to slide, when to take that hit and when not to take that hit. Cam didn't do a real good job of it those first couple of years. And, Anthony Richards is a big guy too. He's what, 6'4", 2+ pounds, 250, something, 230, something like that. So he thinks he can take that punishment, but he can't. And it showed up early. So hopefully he learns a lesson. Colts learn a lesson. He starts getting out of bounds or getting down when he needs to. And we don't have a repeat of last year. I mean, because right now he's an unknown quantity, because he was unknown quantity going into the draft. We get him in the season. He plays one game and then he's gone. So we really don't know how he's going to be, because his time as a starting quarterback was real short while he was at Florida. So we're really going off what we saw in talent in those couple of games. So I hope he learns some lessons, and hope we can stay upright so we can see exactly what he can do in the league.
All right, Will, we're going to go to Jacksonville. Last year I picked them. I did a season-long bet with Jacksonville, and I didn't win. They went 9-8 in year 2 of Doug Peterson's time there. They keep telling me Trevor Lawrence is good. You got Travis Etienne. You got all of these things and nothing. So my question is, did they do enough in the offseason to improve? Will, I'm starting with you. Tell me if this is the year for Jacksonville.
Well, I think Lawrence and Etienne have to step up, and they have to, if both players excel and they improve as they're supposed to, I mean, Jacksonville is right there on Houston. I mean, they'll be right there to competing. But I don't know if they want to take that step. Obviously, they pay Trevor Lawrence, which is great. He doesn't have to worry about he's going to get cut or anything like that. They paid him a ton of money. I'm unsure if Travis Etienne was signed or made some money.
He was.
But I know he did. Yeah. So man, they shouldn't be worried about anything. They have a decent tight end. People hate on him, but Evan Ingram, he still can run. He still can catch. And I think what they did was they had addition by subtraction by removing Ridley, because I'm saying that's the only reason they would have gotten rid of him so quickly. It may have something where it's like, hey, Trevor's not comfortable. Y'all don't have the rapport that you guys or we need. But, hopefully that's what they did. But again, it comes to Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne improving. That's the offseason that improves the Jaguars.
So, George, the Jaguars were just the 6th team since 2000 to miss the playoffs after starting 8-3. And Will, if I'm not mistaken, the over/under was like 10. And I'm talking mad trash about Jacksonville. George, did they do enough in the offseason in terms of their signings and contracts and so forth to get over the hump? What do you think?
I still believe in Jacksonville, and I do because I believe in Lawrence. I believe what they got going on down there. The Ridley situation was interesting because, remember, Ridley was coming off the suspension where he got in trouble. He got the 1-year deal, and then he played pretty well and got a bag. So he got a bag from Vegas. So, but that I still believe what Lawrence is doing down there and what he got going. I see them as competing with Houston for who's going to win that division. And especially since the division is going to probably on the most likely going to be pretty weak. I think, and it's they're going to be weak, and the AFC East is going to be weak. They got room to stumble and keep it moving. So I think they're going to be fine. I like Lawrence, and I like what they got. I like the situation they got down there. Their big thing is going to be how that defense performs this year. The defense let them down a lot last year because they were in some games. I remember a couple Indianapolis games they lost with Minshew doing the magic for Indianapolis, and the defense just couldn't get a stop. So that's going to be the big thing with them. I don't worry about their offense. I worry about their defense more than anything.
George, I'm going to stay with you for Tennessee as we wrap up.
Oh.
We're going to use your knowledge of Liberty football. Now, can Will Levis be a franchise quarterback? And if not, will the kid get a chance to play because they have two young guys, I think even three on their rosters, because I think they got the kid from Ole Miss that franchise liked. So who's going to play quarterback, and can Tennessee do anything? What do you think, George?
Keith, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. It is a bad situation down there right now in Tennessee. After going from, and I used to have so much respect for Tennessee because they were one of the hardest hitting, grinded out, tough-nosed football teams. And now you're looking at a situation where I don't think any of the guys they have back there. I don't think the kid from Liberty. I don't think Levis. I don't think any of them are starting quarterbacks in the NFL. So I think they're still on the hunt for their quarterback. And it's going to be a long process for them. If you're a Tennessee fan, I feel sorry for you because it's going to be a long year. I'd love to. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
All right, Cotton Man, what do you think, man? Can Tennessee do something?
Oh, you know the old adage, man. When you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. So you can't even be talking about the guy in behind him.
They got three.
Yeah, they got three. Yeah. So they have terrible. They're even worse off than that. They have no quarterback. And unfortunately, that organization has been where players kind of, go into the sunset. Guys will finish it up here. It ends up being like, hey, it's just cash cow here, make some money. If a team wants to get me, Levis is just not the guy. I mean, you can see it in his physique. The guy has guns, the guy has biceps, and never have you seen a quarterback with any sort of guns or biceps or anything like that. He naturally just doesn't fit what he needs to do. But I just don't think they'll be competing. To be honest with you, they would be better off just keeping with Mike Vrabel. I think they were better off keeping him for at least another year or two and extend him and figure out what they want to do, because I don't think they really know what they want to do and they have no identity. But at least they would have had a good coach and a leader to kind of get them through some tough times. But they've decided to make that cuts and say, move on to the next regime. So they'll get what they get. Not much.
And I'm telling you, Keith, their problems were compounded because not only is the quarterback up in the air, question up in the air, but you got the coach situations up in there. You got the new guy coming in. Vrabel was had such an effect down there, and now they're back to square one, dude. It's gonna be a tough year for them.
All right, so I'm gonna throw this at you, George. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm sorry Robert's not here. Their quarterback room, Will Levis, Mason Rudolph, and Malik Willis. They've got Tony Pollard as a running back, and they got Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins. That it could be worse. So they've got some skill. George, did I do anything to make you think Tennessee is quality? Anything?
You know what you did for me? You just certified for me that by the first trade deadline, B Hop will be out of there.
Oh yeah,
that's what you certified for me. Okay. B Hop will be on the move, and he'll be disgruntled and ready to go, and he'll go try to get on a contender somewhere.
All right. Go ahead.
He almost went to the Patriots. Remember how terrible that would be? Yeah. He doesn't care where he goes. He's like,
I'm hoping they go ahead and trade him, and he's a Cowboy, so he can be on the other side. That's what I'm hoping.
That'd be nice. I'd like that. That'd be good. That'd be interesting.
All right. So fans, in segment 2, strictly for entertainment purposes only, we'll go over under, see what we're thinking about. We'll be right back on the Eye Coaches Pod.
Why should student athletes use the CKA Save Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. Let's go over-unders, starting with the Houston Texans. George, over-under 9.5, and their roster rank is 7. What say you, sir?
Yeah, over. I don't even have to say anything else. It's over. And let me answer for Will now. Over. So you can just go ahead. You can go ahead to the next one.
Will Cotton, can we confirm this?
Confirmed. Over.
Over.
I got like 12 wins. They can get to 12 wins easily.
Okay.
There's gonna be a couple more to steal one, but I like the over.
All right. Jacksonville Jaguars will over under 8.5. Roster rank is 19. What say you?
I'm gonna go with them as under. I think it'll be slightly under, about 8 wins, right there. Close games that they lose a lot, like George said, lose games that they should win. I think they do have games that they can win: Bears, Pats, Vikings, Titans twice, Raiders, and I think they could beat the Colts once and maybe the Jets. But that's just gets you like 8. So I think it's still under.
George, over under 8.5. We've studied Jacksonville this offseason. They've made some moves. They also got some coaching things going on with the coordinators and whatever. What say you, sir?
Well, you know what? You got them at 8. The 8.5 is the cutoff line.
8.5.
Yeah.
Well, I think they can get over. I think they can get it 9 or 10. Because looking at this, how good is Buffalo's in shambles right now? The Bears, the Patriots. Depending on what the Eagles.
They got a lot of bumps.
Yeah, depending on what the Eagles locker room looks like. Minnesota, and then they got like some tough game. They're tough games, like where they got to go to Detroit, and that's like in the middle. Yeah. That's in the lull part of the season where people tend to lose focus. So I can get them. I can get them. They can get over 8.5.
The price is right for both. So
yeah.
Okay, George, I'm gonna stay with you. Indianapolis, over under 8.5.
Under.
And their roster rank is
under.
22. Okay.
Under. I'm just giving it to you now. Under. Because the quarterback's a question mark. The defense is good, but the quarterback situation is going to be up in there. And they start off with the Texans in Green Bay is not a good way to start your season off, So I'm looking at this. I'm gonna say under. Right.
All right, Will. What do we got, man? Their roster ranks 22. Maybe that's a little less generous than you should probably give them. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I'm going under, man. I mean, it's ambitious for them to get 9.
Yeah,
that would be
that'd be a hell of a season. Yeah, that'd be a hell of a season right there.
Yeah, for sure, straight up. So I don't got it, man. Give me the under.
All right, Will, I'll stay with you. Tennessee, over under 6.5.
Ooh.
Roster rank 25.
Ooh.
What do you think?
I mean, I think even if they were to get a couple, they would have to steal some wins. And I still don't see it. I mean, they got the Bears. They could beat the Jaguars once. It's just a lot. I'm just going to go and say under. Give me the under. They're not a good team. The quarterback play is just terrible. It won't be able to allow them to sustain or even have enough wins unless something magical comes, like, football, like angels in the end zone kind of stuff. But they ain't, give me the under. They can't, no.
George, you can't count 7 wins for Tennessee.
I'm looking at it. No, I can't. Bears, Jets, no, because it's going to be that the first game of the season is going to be interesting because it's going to tell me a lot about both teams with the Titans and the Bears anyway. And so that's going to be interesting. But then they got the Jets, Green Bay, the Dolphins. They might get the Colts one time. Yeah, I don't see. I don't see. Maybe the Commanders late, depending on whether Daniels is hurt or not. Yeah, I don't see it under.
All right, so fans, when we get back in segment 3, we'll do predicted order of finish, playoff contenders, and is there a Super Bowl team coming from the AFC South?
Oh God.
We'll be right back on the Yacht Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Yacht Coaches Podcast. That is segment 3. We're going to do predicted order of finish. Yacht Man, you start off. AFC South, predicted order of finish.
Oh, Texans, Jaguars, Colts, and the Titans.
All right, George, is that the same as yours?
This is like playing on a 8-foot rim. So, so yes, it's the same.
All right, so George, do we get more than one team in the playoffs out of the AFC South?
I'm gonna say yes.
You're gonna get 2? Who are the 2 you're picking?
I'm gonna say Jacksonville sneaks in because I'm looking at everybody else. Jacksonville could definitely sneak in.
All right, so Houston and Jacksonville. Will, what do you think? Can they get 2 from the AFC South?
Yeah, I agree with George, man. I think that the Texans in, and then I think the Jaguars are gonna, because there's so much trash at the bottom of the AFC.
Yeah.
Like they could easily sneak in with, and if George thinks he's gonna win 9, which is not crazy to say, that's the ticket to get in. And if they get 10, I mean, good Lord, they're really in. But I think 9 could get them in. So
9 can get you in. 9 and 8 can get you in from the South.
Because you get you in that part of AFC because Denver's horrible. I mean, if I go through this list, you're going to name teams that we know ain't going to make the playoffs, and I think Jacksonville will be able to do it because they're better than. And
the AFC North, which we've already done, is going to cannibalize itself.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And the AFC East is hurt. In the AFC West, it really comes down to whether if Harbaugh's going to have an impact or not. And but the King's still going to be there, so that's basically it.
All right, so can either Houston or Jacksonville go on that magical, mythical run? Will, can they surprise anybody, or no Super Bowl team is coming from the AFC South?
Nah, not yet. Not yet. I think a deep playoff run for the Texans if they can focus and really move forward, like they take that step they need to. But I see at best, AFC Championship for the Texans, but I don't see anything in the Super Bowl.
All right, George, can we convince you that CJ Stroud in year 2 has figured it out and can go head up against Mahomes in Kansas City?
Usually the second year for good quarterbacks is always like a down year. So, no. So I'm going, no. I don't see them getting there yet. They ain't quite ready.
Coaching wise, that is absolutely correct. All right, so fans, there's the AFC South. So on behalf of our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, and we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.